The Magnolia Beach Club is the artist discussion. So I had a project in Pawleys Island, and during the project I stayed at an Airbnb that was located right on the marsh. And this marsh is not an ordinary marsh. It was just vast amount of marshland that went out in front of the property, and behind the marsh was the beach that you can barely see out in the distance. So what captured my eye were these old remaining parts of a dock that were sticking out of the marshland. Not many of them, but you could tell how weathered they were. It told a story of what it was to be a dock at that time. So that's what really captured my eye to create this watercolor painting. Next day, I decided to wander around the property and came across one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. It was the Magnolia Beach Club. And when I came across it, I didn't know what it was. What caught my eye was the beautiful cobalt blue, indigo blue colors of this building that had no roof, that just no windows. It was just the remaining part of this building. And I could tell that it had been there for quite some time, right? Just by looking at the concrete blocks, I could tell there was a story behind the structure. I just didn't know what the story was until later, and I'll get to that in a second. But what captured my eye was the blue against the yellow ochre marsh. And in the very, very, very distant was this little strip of narrow beach, right? So you have the horizontal line of the marsh in layers, and it all went down to the beach, and you had this horizontal strip of beach and then the horizon line. But what really captured my eye was the vertical parts of the building, how it clashed with the marsh itself. So you had the vertical parts of the windows that there's no glass in it, and you had the vertical parts of the corners of the building. So that was really neat to see that, to see those two color combinations combined. And it's pretty rare to come across a structure like that sitting all by its lonesome self. It was the remains of one of the most popular black beach clubs of its time. You know, it's where black people could go without racial discrimination and enjoy drinks, food, live music, and it was a resort. This was, pretty much in the early 1930s, mid-1930s. In the late 1930s, word spread very, very, very quick, right? It was a destination for these people to come and enjoy their time at the beach. So popular musicians like Duke Ellington came there and played music. Charlie Parker came and played music. Ray Charles, right? And that's what made it so special, was the history behind it, which I didn't know till later after I painted the painting. So then in 1954, Hurricane Hazel came and wiped the whole thing out. So that's what this conversation is about, this discussion is about, is the clashing of the colors of the yellow ochre and the blue, and then the history behind it. To me, is just, that's a work of art in itself.